Dandavat pranams to all of you, most beloved Vaishnavas, most beloved Gopananda Bon Maharaj and all others, sannyasis, Acaryas present here. Very mixed feelings come to my heart when I think about the beautiful Kartik Vrata and the devotional dedication, and at the same time devotees in another country are persecuted and tortured and killed by another faith. I am in contact with Govinda, who is the leader of the Hindu community in Bangladesh, and we have been discussing about what is the best steps to take. In one way or another, considering the majority of Muslims in Bangladesh and the great amount of Muslim communities around the world, it is something to consider very seriously. Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha must identify where united efforts can bless more people and stop injustice to our great Vaishnava family tree, or even the Hindu tree, to say so in a very broad way. Since the violence is perpetrated not by Muslims in general, but by some specific radical, myopic, stupid people, they are not representing Muslim faith on a whole. So one has to be careful not to turn anti-Muslim because of Muslim fanatics doing injustice to Hindu temples. It has happened in the past when the mosque on the Ram temple was broken. That time, many fanatic Muslims attacked Hindu temples in many parts of the world. So there is this prejudice, there is this ignorance, the Hindus, the Muslims, and those fanatic groups, they thrive on violence and hate. So violence and hate is really the real enemy we have, not Muslims. Violence and hate against other people, other faiths, anyone. And you know, violence and hate is so promoted in this world. Even today, in this world, the COVID story has become so stupid that many people turn aggressive against those who are against vaccination, who are against the anti-COVID method. The whole atmosphere around the world is a lot of rejection, hate, fear. So what to speak of what happened in Bangladesh? So we have to be very careful that violence and hate are seen as the real inimical portion. So how to approach this? This is very, very difficult, because if you say anything which offends Muslims in general, then you only make the things worse. So the loving Muslim community, which does exist, who don't agree with anything what's happening by the fanatical Muslims, by approaching them and the government. I have put a little write-up here in our message section, which can be utilized to speak to the embassies about the situation, to gain sympathy and hopefully true support to stop those fanatics there. You see, Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha has the potency of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. He and Nityananda Prabhu and all our Guru Varga are standing behind every single preacher in the world. Every single mission in the world has the backing from the Divine Lord himself. But at the same time, if we learn to cooperate with each other on this type of subjects, I'm not talking about the Bangladesh subject in particular. I'm talking about any type of situation where our family is being threatened and put into some difficulties. The Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha is the only platform to, number one, get the information. Number two, making joint intelligent plans. And number three, go into action for protecting, for spreading, for whatever is the agenda of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved by the current Acaryas. So it has happened in the past. Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha has saved the Vaishnava religion in Russia. Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha has saved the Vaishnava religion in Poland. And Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha has helped to save the dignity of the Bhagavad Gita in Russia. And there's other cases on minor scale. Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha is a power, is a potential, and we should learn how to explore it. When I was hearing Bhakti Prapanna Tirtha Maharaj speaking so boldly that we should defend our Guru Varga as preachers, my heart was filling with great joy. He is such a loving and peaceful person, if you know Srila Tirtha Maharaj. But here he comes out with a strong order. We cannot ignore if anybody of our brothers and sisters is being mistreated and can be protected. Now, that can be protected, that is the question. Like, I was traveling in Bangladesh and I was seeing the atmosphere. Hindus, even Vaishnavas, are very united in Bangladesh because they are minorities, and the Hindus, they're forced to stick to each other, living in areas in the towns, and still there's always some, because it's a historical situation. Do not forget that all the Bangladeshi Muslims, they were Hindus before. They were forced converted. That is a very strange situation. They were Hindus, they use saris, they eat rice and vegetables like Hindus. I mean, there's so much similarity, but some people enter into some circles and create hate, and we are better than you. And you know, what is this prejudice? This is prejudice is going on all over the world, not only between Hindus and Muslims. It is very often very locally concerns. For example, how Ecuador can make a war with Peru when Ecuadorians and Peruvians are the same races from the same Quechua indigenous community. But when the political people get involved with the hate mongering, then it is a fact that they always get some fanatics, politically motivated people to join. For example, there is a rule which Swami Vijnananda pointed out in his letter of protest. There's a rule in Bangladesh that if Hindus escape and leave their properties behind, then their neighbors are kind of entitled to invade those properties and take them over. Now, just think about it. If I drive you away, I scare you enough, then I'll be having your house and your farm as mine. Now you understand, money is the main motivation behind fanatics and violent people. They are not religious. They are not thinking of their religion. It is only conflict and violence based on material motives. So in this way, we see specifically in the Bangladesh situation, we are a bit helpless unless the local government becomes so embarrassed internationally that they will say, we have to stop those fanatics. They are hurting our interests. But we have to be careful because the local government in Bangladesh is 99% Muslim. So if they get the feeling the anti-Muslims are complaining about the Muslims, they will not take any action. So therefore, it is a very touchy subject, Bangladesh, very touchy. And we feel so sad about any devotee being put in anxiety. The descriptions of the horrors after Durga Puja are really, they can only make us cry. But Ishapriya also said something, somehow karmically, things are manifesting which are beyond our control. So we have to also think that Krishna is the controller. Nevertheless, in the Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha, we are the ones who think what to do when our devotees are under attack or when there's a chance to expand the glories of Krishna in a more substantial way, like Paramananda from Guru Ma Jayashree was bringing up the subject of glorifying the 150th anniversary of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada in a very solid way. And what can be more solid than publishing all his books in English, having a monthly magazine? They're a small mission and they're making such an amazing effort. Can you imagine what if the big missions would make such efforts? So they're making an amazing effort to glorify our Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada. Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Prabhupada is our common denominator because we all love him, we all depend on him, all the branches. Nobody can say, oh, we exist without Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. So therefore, I think the effort made by Jayashree Prapana Ashram is really, really a great contribution to the Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha ideals. So we can also help by having the PDF spread to our missions, to our members, so that they are more aware who was Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Anyhow, we are in the months of Kartik, and both Gopananda Bon Maharaj and also Tirtha Maharaj gave some very secret hints about this Kartik. So I feel not any qualification to enhance further on this, but there were so good points that they can only be repeated. Like, for example, that we want this exclusive relationship in Vrindavan. Like, anyhow, you have all heard it. I don't have to repeat it here now, but and the Kartik is to be practiced, is a devotional dedication to enhance our entire life into Krishna consciousness. So all these things, this is what I, first personally, I feel that Vishva Vaishnava Raj Sabha is something very wonderful and very great. And the more sannyasis and gurus and acharyas participate in this, you know, the more powerful it will become. And we also should look at our friends. Look, Swami Vikyanananda from the Vishva Hindu Parishad, he has come into full action in defense of the Hindus in Bangladesh by writing letters to all the United Nations, European Parliament. He has made from his office a great effort, and that's why I published, I will put his whole entire letter also in Vienna International. So if you don't get the full copy from here, you will find it there. And yet, if we also participate by approaching the Bangladeshi embassies with love, as I told you, not with any anti-Muslim spirit, only pleading for mercy for our spiritual family, then it may have some effect, because last not least, everybody has nationalism in this Kali Yuga, even the fanatics. And even if the fanatics see that by our bad activities, we are hurting the prestige of our country, then it may have an effect that they will stop this nonsense. That is the only thing we can practically approach their nationalistic feeling. Our Bangladesh, our great country we live in. Now the whole world is talking about how savage and violent and horrible we are. No, this is not good. When I went around Bangladesh, you may not believe it, they're very concerned about soccer. Everywhere in every street, I found flags of Brazil and Argentina painted on the wall, because the Bangladeshis, they're soccer fans of what's happening in the world. So Bangladeshis do care what's happening in other places in the world and what other places. Now, if we get a soccer star, if anybody has a real soccer star, and that soccer star speaks to Bangladesh, do not mistreat the Hindus there. Their family, our friend. I tell you, that would have more impact than the embassies being, but how to do it. Anyhow, this is just an idea which was born in my mind right now, the soccer star thing, because I went all over Bangladesh and I saw how much the Bangladeshis, the Muslims, are into soccer, which Hindus are not. In India, nobody cares about soccer, but in Bangladesh, they do. So these are little things one should all take in consideration. So if you have any contact to a famous soccer star and you can get him to speak out, it would definitely have an impact. Thank you very much for listening to these few words of mine, which I am so happy to see that Madhava Krishna is organizing this event with the help of many people. More and more devotees are taking interest, especially the new branches of Krishna consciousness, the young branches. They're in so much need of the association with great devotees like Srila Tirtha Maharaj, Srila Gopananda Maharaj, Srila Vishnu Maharaj, Srila Bodhain Maharaj, and all the other Acaryas, which I don't, there's too long a list to mention them all. Bhakti Sundar Sannyasi Maharaj of Chaitanya Math, and I have a strong feeling that things are improving, more awareness is coming. Sometimes dangers and attacks on us help us to realize more what we are supposed to do. Again, my Dandavat pranams, Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha, Kripa Sindhuvevacha, Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha.